There we go. Cool. All right. Yeah. Here we go. Man, the chat is already lit. The chat is already lit, man. Free my boy J-Dub.
Facts.
You know what I'm saying? Yo, man, these dudes, yo, you ever notice they do that to you whenever Sony gets a big blockbuster game? I'm noticing when PlayStation gets a blockbuster game, hey, it's time to go after J-Dub because we cannot allow this man to use these games against us. Every time, like every time. They go
it never fails, P-Rock. It never fails. You know what? That's the price. That's the sacrificial. I'm the sacrificial lamb, man.
like J-Dub's like, forgive them, forgive them, Yoshida, for they not know what they do. Man, J-Dub's constantly dying for Pony Nation's sins.
Facts.
They go after. It's like clockwork. Every time there's a big game, they go after his account and shut him down every time.
Yep.
But he keep being resurrected. Like, does that even bother you, Jay? Because you get up to like thousands of followers instantly, like all over.
Listen. I lost my account. You know what I'm saying? Had to start right from zero. Before the end of the day, I end up with 2,000 back. So I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? I'm okay. You know what I'm saying? Dudes try to get me at zero. I'm already at 2,000 within less than 24 hours.
And you got 0 strikes. Like so, boom. So you got it's like a whole new game of basketball. You got 6 more fouls. You got 6 more fouls to play with.
Facts. Yoshida told me this was the price. That's the price that it was going to take to lead the PlayStation Nation into the promised land.
You heard the voice. You heard the voice.
Facts.
You heard the voice.
You know, every now and then I have to go into the mountains and read the scribes. And come down like Moses with the tablets. You know what I'm saying?
Oh, my man J-Von, he said, "Free my brother J-Dub City."
Facts. Big facts.
Oh snap! Shout out to everybody. You know, that's just how it is, man. You know, the voice. You know what I'm saying? And Jim Ryan's like, you know, have my people follow me. They do not believe in me. I need you to be the voice. You will lead my people back to me. I will give you triple A's. I will give you Game of the Year. I will give you more. I will bathe you. You will prosper in the land of milk and honey of triple A games. Lead my. Do not let my flock be astray. You know what I'm saying? He writes the scriptures. Commandment number 1: you will have triple A exclusives.
Facts. And you notice? I don't know if y'all noticed, but this was like last week. Sony had a string, you know, the people wanted to get rid of Jim Ryan. They, you know, the PlayStation, they this is the new the PlayStation. This is PlayStation 3. Yeah, this is PlayStation 3 era again. I had that conversation with Jim Ryan. I said, look, I know Yoshida, me and Yoshida had the deal, but now, you know, we gonna cut a deal for you. How much is it worth? And, you know, he cut that check.
So hold on. You have to establish a new covenant.
Yes.
So a new covenant. So this is you being Jesus on the Sermon on the Mount.
Facts.
Like, hey, the old laws, forget about it. Here's the new stuff. All right.
You got to remember, Kratos was part of the Yoshida document.
Oh,
and you know the Yoshida regime.
So
now this is the
new covenant.
Yes, this new covenant.
So like before, before it was like eye for an eye. For AAA for indie, no. Now it's now AAA for AAA. It's nothing but AAAs. We're not like here's the new gospel. AAA. That's the new gospel.
Listen, he doubled down. You saw P-Rock. He doubled down and said, "Yeah, we're gonna have more blockbuster AAA PS5 games in this era than we did the previous eras." You know what I'm saying? That's what I'm saying.
This is the Jim Ryan J-Dub era.
Yeah, that's it.
Still is going on.
This is the Jim Ryan J-Dub era. A new contract. So everybody, the contract has been updated.
Facts.
J-Dub and Jim Ryan came to an agreement. And we're looking at the fine print. More
Jim Ryan came out talking that talk. talking about enough for me. We gonna let the games do the talking. And he dropped Returnal coming out this Friday in 2 days. 2 days we got Returnal. 2 days we got Returnal, and then next month, in June we got the Ratchet and Clank, and I know you guys seen the new gameplay trailer from that.
Okay,
so it was a double. It was a double whammy.
Oh no, Jim Ryan, and you know Jim Ryan testing everybody, right?
Yes.
Because the man like, so now we like indies. Oh, we like indie? That's okay. I'm gonna drop a state of play this Thursday. Let me see one person bash state of play. I dare you. You know he's doing that.
Facts.
Because we just had a state of play, so he's like, okay.
Yeah, that's what. Bro, because usually after the state of play, I hear people complain, they just did a bunch of indie trash.
Oh yeah, he's ready for that. Jim Ryan's like, Jim Ryan's like with Birdman. He's like,
let me see how much you motherfuckers really care.
We about to find out. He's like, let me catch one of y'all talk shit about my state of play. Oh, he ready. He's testing y'all. This state of play was not planned. He's like, yo, come here. Create a state of play.
Yep.
I'm gonna call this bullshit card. We're gonna find out if these dudes are real. I'm looking at you, Jeff Grubb. He's looking at y'all. Paris, he's looking at all of y'all. Alright? Y'all want indies? Okay, I'm gonna give y'all indies. Hey, state of play right now. Tomorrow. He's like, but what games? I don't care. Buy all these indies. Show it to them. They want indies? I'm gonna give it to them right now. Oh man, that's crazy.
Yeah, so they got J-Dub suspended, and Jim Ryan did an offhand impromptu state of play.
Listen, he said this man said, yeah, you know, once I signed that contract, that extension contract with him, man, he had to have my back on that, and I said, look, man, he told me you're gonna have to be that sacrificial lamb for PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? So you know what I'm saying?
He looked at J-Dub. He's like, listen, I'm gonna tell you something. Everyone's gonna go after you after this deal because you're going after a lot of pockets right now. He goes, are you sure? Are you sure to hold on the mantle? Because they're gonna take everything you got. And J-Dub's
yeah, buddy.
J-Dub's like, I'll be that.
Yep.
He came in like, Nas, you can hate me now.
Facts.
But
it's a
I
hard
won't
job,
stop
but
now.
Somebody got to do it. You know what I'm saying, P-Rock? It's a hard job, but somebody got to do it.
You know what I'm saying? Because the flock, you know, let's admit, PlayStation was kind of wishy-washy. You know?
Yes.
Like even shout out to Colin Murray.
I had to have a come to Jesus moment with PlayStation with my brethren from PlayStation Nation. You know what I'm saying? I told them, listen, stop looking back. Right, you in first place. Stop looking back, seeing what everybody else doing. Focus on you. And they kept looking back. Well, Xbox, you know, they got this and they got that, and you know, and I'm like, listen. You winning. Why would you look back, worrying about what they have? You know. But we came to an agreement. I told him to give me a week, and I'll show him what we can do. I went to Jim Ryan and told him, look, man, you gotta give him just a little teaser, just a little teaser to keep faith. Right? They had faith in Yoshida and Sean Layton, but you're the new guy, right? You have
you got to earn like hey, right now you have the keys to the Ferrari, and everybody's nervous. Everybody think you swerving. They think you drunk. Prove to them you deserve to drive this vehicle. And he's like, all right.
Exactly.
He's like, all right.
So he said, all right, J-Dub, I'll make you a deal. Go ahead and sign on the dotted line. And next week, we're going to drop a state of play. I'm gonna drop some Ratchet and Clank. And then I'm gonna drop the Returnal, and all the reviews and previews are coming out great for Returnal. You know what I'm saying? So we shut down all the $70 talk. You know, all these people.
And you know what?
For a game.
Let's make that China Hero project. Do something. Make that happen.
Facts.
Lost all aside. Right? Shout out to David Gaines.
Facts.
He said, my guys, Xbox cats hurting these streets. Oh, they are. They're in pain.
Facts.
Glad to see you all doing well, fellas. Returnal Friday, baby. Facts.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's safe to say all three of us is playing that game. I know I am. I already got it pre-ordered. I already got it pre-ordered.
Absolutely. We all got it pre-ordered. We all got it pre-ordered. You know that. One thing about PlayStation Nation, man, you can't say that about any other group, but one thing about PlayStation Nation, man, they're going to support their exclusives.
I will say that and Nintendo. I give the Nintendo guys props. They buy their exclusives. They buy their exclusives.
Nintendo by default, because they don't really have third party like that. You know what I'm saying?
But listen, they don't care. But notice nobody bothers Nintendo dudes for paying $60 full price for like 10-year
Absolutely.
games. They don't, and they don't care. They don't care what price.
They don't care. They don't care what
you
say about Nintendo.
They don't care.
Yeah, they're gonna play their Animal Crossing, and
they're gonna play their Zelda. They're gonna play their that paint gun game? What's it called?
The Pokemon, the fucking Splatoon.
Splatoon, there you go. They I give them props. They hold the line. They will play their Nintendo games. They don't care if it's made by Nintendo. They won, and they will buy it in droves. You know, so I give them props. But hey, that's what you do when you have good exclusives. When you have great exclusive stuff. So right here, Returnal, right? Early previews. I have not seen a bad early preview. Have any of you seen a bad early preview from anybody?
Not
anybody complaining? Like they even got Jeff Grubb recorded saying that it's worth the $70, which is pretty impactful. Yeah. Given the fact that he was one of the main proponents about the whole Game Pass saving money and games shouldn't be $70. But apparently his first impression, he's like, yeah, this game is worth $70. So how impactful is that? Like, how impactful is what more? Like, how far that Housemarque elevated their game to go from, indie developer, Housemarque?
Yeah.
Okay, my apologies, Housemarque. I always thought it was hard. I thought it was Housemarque. My bad. But how impactful to go from an indie developer, a developer who has indie level budget, Resogun,
you know what I'm saying?
Matterfall, low, smaller budget games, to now they make this first big game to where people question being $70. Hell, they questioned whether if it was worth $60, let alone $70.
$60,
right? And now the people who are playing it, many of them are saying like this game is like on a whole nother level.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, here's one thing I want to point out, y'all, that I don't think people are paying attention to. Yeah. Sony is not afraid to show this game to people early. And they didn't do like this other famous game. Now I won't mention the name.
The yellow chair game.
Trying to wait to the last minute.
The yellow chair game.
So like, they got it out in front of people. They the review embargo is not up till a specific time, but you can do previews all you want and have at it. And that shows a lot of confidence right there. Just the fact that they're not trying to hide it.
Yeah, and people responding. The people who are in previews, they're talking about it's like a Metrovania, bullet hell. Horror, like everybody's having a different perspective, and it's all positive. They're saying the gameplay's fluid. They say the haptic feedback is amazing, which is I love to hear that.
3D audio.
I love
the 3D audio.
Yes, I love to hear that. Man, it's incredible, and people are changing their minds. They're they're not complaining that it's $70 now. Like I have yet to see a preview where somebody's even wishy-washy. It's what if this game is a 90 plus Metacritic game, and is being touted as a Game of the Year contender? I think what would that do to the internet?
Yeah.
What do you think, J? Because you're gonna be the one leading the charge.
Facts.
If this is a 90 Metacritic Game of the Year level game, I can God help the Xbox community.
Facts. Listen, it's gonna do two things. It's gonna kill the narrative that independent studios can't make blockbuster AAA games, even if they haven't made them before, right? But it also goes to the testament of PlayStation's management. Their management seems to always partner with the right people, the right developers to create something new. This is something new, right? This is not something that we see every year. It's not a traditional shooter or a racer, or it's just the regular cliche stuff. This is something out. One thing I do like about PlayStation is not only is there a variety of games, but Sony doesn't mind trying something that people haven't yet tried before. And I'm pretty sure they sunk quite a bit of money into this game. This is Housemarque's biggest IP ever. Sony give them the freedom and the support, and I guarantee these guys were able to talk to Guerrilla Games. They were able to talk to Insomniac and all of these other studios, because they have that synergy where they not only share tech, they share information, but they get information from each other to all try to hype each other up and make sure that the project is successful. You can tell by when they drop a game, all the in-house, all the PlayStation studios get together and be like, congratulations, and I can't wait to play this. They all do that. And it's like you only see that within the Sony's studios. You only see that with them. But that just shows you, man, there's a good management team that they have in place to see this game and say, you know what, this is good. I like what I'm seeing. We're going to keep investing. We're going to, help you because think about it, independent studio, that means you don't have a lot of people. You don't have 500 people, and 1,000 people working. You only have a small team. But with Sony's synergy and how their openness is, I'm just saying what other developers like Sony Ben, they just said this a couple of weeks ago when they had the Jason Schreier article and stuff. They said that that Sony's just open like that. Like, they just kind of let you go. You can share and all this stuff. And it's been successful so far. But if this game comes out and it's high, it gets a really high Metacritic, let's say 85 or above, that's a huge W. It's already seems like it's selling. All I'm seeing is people posting their receipts of them buying the game. And it's just another game, another exclusive in that category of Sony that just kind of keeps the ball rolling on to the next one, All
right. Hey, let me do some super chat that I want to get some Optimus Code View. Max City Entertainment, what up, bro? He said, watch some gameplay. Game looks good. Not my type of game, but I'll probably give it a shot when it's not $70 pass. I give Sony credit so far for this one. Bro, sign up for Gamefly.
Definitely.
You know what I'm saying? People think I'm joking when I say that. I'm like, no, I'm serious as shit.
Yeah.
Like, if y'all don't want to pay $70 for games, you don't have to. Obviously there's game sharing, there's price drops, but if you want to play games for day one and you don't want to wait, just Gamefly. It's there. And just play it. Like, apparently renting games is fine now. But, back in the early days, you would get clowned if people catch you red boxing games, but it's acceptable now.
Facts.
My advice, Max City, just play the game. If you have a PS5, you bought a PS5 for a reason. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Try the game. You'd be surprised. You actually playing it, you might be like, yo. You know what I'm saying? You playing those games might force you to hold Xbox to a higher standard because you'll be like, wait a minute. I got a PS5 and I'm playing these games. Microsoft, you got to do better. Like, you got to.
Yeah.
Like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? BioBoost 441, he says, happy to see J-Dub back on Twitter. Streets busting heads. You know what I'm saying?
Facts. I appreciate it, man. Thank y'all for all the support. Y'all know your boy gotta, I'll be going hard out here in these streets, and there's a sacrifice for that. You know what I'm saying?
I'll say, my man.
As long as y'all, happy with the content, as long as y'all, y'all laughing, having fun, that's all that matters.
All right. The Vegeta, he says, so are we going to talk about Hellblade lead director being the same lead on Bleeding Ass? Oh, snap. Yeah, I saw that tweet. Of course, J-Dub, he got the foot on next. New account and all. He already, he's like, hey, I'm just saying. Now I'm gonna be like, we'll talk about that. We're definitely gonna bring that up.
We need Code's point of view on that one.
We're gonna get Code's view on that one. And Carlos Crespin says, I much prefer Sony's quiet approach and let the product speak for itself, as opposed to Xbox's X pretending to be everyone's Twitter buddies.
Absolutely,
that's a good point.
Absolutely,
good viewpoint. Mega 3000 Returnal previews are amazing, but everyone keeps saying it's hard as fuck. Do you guys think the difficulty will hinder the Metascore? Well, look at Dark Souls in those games. Those games, I think, as long as if it's difficult but fair, I don't think it's going to hinder the score, because you got games like Cuphead that was praised, Dark Souls, Bloodborne. Almost all the Souls games are highly acclaimed. So I think as long as it's fair and not cheesy, I think people will welcome and enjoy it.
Difficult is one thing, but when it's cheap and it cheats, that's altogether different.
Yeah, because then that's not difficult. That's just bad game design at that point.
Exactly.
When people could realize, wait a minute, this game is hard for no reason, because you just So as long as as long as well played out, even Bayonetta's traditionally a hard game, but that's very well received.
The worst game design where it becomes difficult is when they take something away from you in order to make the game harder.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to design the game around either having more enemies on screen or making them smarter. But when you gimp me right? Make me slower and stuff like that. It's like I'm being penalized. You know what I'm saying? I paid my money to be penalized.
They will, like, you will level yourself up and you got like all your weapons maxed out, and they'll have one level where somebody capture you, take all your weapons, they over here in the corner, and you gotta be nothing while you fight your way back across
with your bare foot and your Hanes boxers. That's all you got. You're like, what? Because you work so hard and you're bare knuckle and you're in your drawers fighting. You're like, what?
Facts.
Oh, I know what you mean. You know what I hate?
If it's one level, that's fine, but like when they do it for an extended period of time, like that is so annoying.
One game mechanic I hate is like on action games, you know, like Ninja Gaiden or whatever, but you play the game and you're getting hit by enemies you can't see on the screen. I hate those, like, because they have a gun or they're throwing ninja stars, but you don't know where it comes from. Like, what the hell am I getting hit at? Oh, I hate that gameplay mechanic. That is so cheesy.
Facts.
Like, that's another one. Here we go. So, Localism 1025, he says, we need to stop with this narrative that PS doesn't have variety in the games they create. Oh, there's plenty of variety. I mean, hell, Optimus could tell you more than anybody else. He's playing all types of PlayStation games. From Astro Bot, Sackboy. You recently platinum what? Ratchet and Clank.
Days Gone. And Ratchet and Clank,
Yeah, so there's variety all over. You know, people just choose to ignore it. Returnal, Ratchet made, and Xbox GP with the 1-2 punch. Shout out to Javon with that one. But it's funny how the conversation quickly changed from $70 to, you know, because everybody was pretty adamant. Oh, these games ain't worth $70, and we'll talk more about that. But Optimus, I want to know,
how do they know a game is not worth $70 and they've never touched a controller with?
Exactly, you know what I'm saying.
But listen, here's the thing about it. Each one of those frauds that say that don't mind spending $70 for NBA 2K. Or $70 for Madden,
every year,
or $70 for COD, right?
Every year,
they don't complain about that, but it seems like it's universally only Sony games that they complain about spending $70. Like, it's not an industry thing. Like, Sony created this $70 thing. You see what I'm saying? Yeah. That's what I think. They're using it as a argument in a justification for Game Pass. All of a sudden now, buying games is a bad thing. But prior to Game Pass coming out, for centuries, everybody been, you know, for decades, everybody's been buying games. But all of a sudden now, oh, you're spending money on games? That sucks. That's bad. That's bad. And I'm like, oh man, I thought as gamers, you buy games that you like, you spend your money. That's what we've always did. But all of a sudden now, it's a bad thing to spend money buying games.
I hear you, Jay.
We asked for these bigger and better games, but we're not willing to spend an extra $10 in 2021 to get those games.
When I was a teenager, my parents controlled the games that I got to play, and it was usually one game a year. Yep. And I would have to play that same game over and over.
Yep.
When absolutely. I became an adult and I became in control of my own income, one of the very first pleasures that I enjoyed was being able to go and buy whatever video game system I wanted and to buy whatever game I wanted. And to me, personally, I enjoy investing money in the hobby that I love, and I have no problems at all spending $70. Like, I never buy a $70. Well, when games was $60, I didn't pay $60 because I always bought the digital deluxe or whatever the hell it was.
Exactly. Edition. So you've always spent $70 or more on a game. Yeah.
Because I don't mind paying for what I think is valuable. Yeah. Now, there's a good argument to be made. If you don't think the game is worth that money, then obviously don't buy it. Don't spend money on stuff that you think is not worth it. But if you do think it's worth that money, why are you complaining just on principle, like it just shouldn't be $10 more? Yeah. Why not? How did you decide that?
Here's one thing that I noticed that, and I said I was going to do this, right? It was going to cause me to be more selective and more critical of the game that I'm gonna buy for $70. Exactly. Now that's different. That's different than me saying I'm not gonna buy. You know, game shouldn't be $70. A game can be $100 if the developer think it's worth it, and gamers think it's worth it. It'll be $100. But what it is, it's like if a game like, let's say Cuphead, right? Cuphead, great game. come out. But a game like that would make me question $70. Not saying that I wouldn't buy it. Again, it just raises my eye. Whereas before, I'm just adding shit to my cart, checking out. You know what I'm saying? It's added. Well, now, because I remember back in the day, we used to be able to take $100, going to Funko Land or Babbage's or EB Games, and come out with 2 games, right? 2 games for $100, $50 a piece. Yeah. But then over time, games got $60 a piece, and then now we're at that point where it's $70 a piece, and it's just hey, gaming is an expensive hobby, man.
Mm-hmm. And I don't really think it's that expensive compared to the amount of hours you get playing those games.
Absolutely.
Like I go to a movie theater and I spend like $100.
Easy.
It's like 2 hours
for an hour and a half. Yeah,
for an hour and a half, 2 hours,
to 2 hour
and
movie.
then that's it. You know what I'm saying?
That's it.
You know,
you go home empty-handed.
That's pretty much
I would
it.
take my family out to a movie because we go to IMAX, of course.
Of course.
So that's like a dub per
ticket.
That's already $8.
Like the ticket's already $40. You're like that there.
Yep.
Right, then all the popcorn and because it's 4 of us, right? It's me, the wife, and the 2 kids.
The goddamn popcorn's like $15. You're like, what the hell kind of popcorn is this?
Get all that candy popcorn. We well over $150 every time.
Yeah, it is. It's simple. Yeah, country. The
Vegeta. And it's
Vegeta.
over with. After that 2 hours is up, it's over with.
And then you're thinking, and you better hope that movie was good too. Because if the movie's trash, that's even worse.
Like, god damn it.
Like, god damn it, you know. Vegeta 90 said bots don't buy games even before Game Pass. Look at Capcom. Oh yeah, those are huge drastic.
That's true. That is true. The numbers don't lie.
Yeah.
Didn't we find out P-Rock? It was like
it was bad. It was like
it
was like 6%. It was like 6%.
Yeah, 6%. Yeah,
of software sales was in Xbox.
Yes.
Yes. Here's the thing. So the $70, I never got into that argument because I'm saying this. Anyone who's genuine about $70, that tells me that person does not care about 2K, which is possible, does not care about Call of Duty, which is possible, don't care about FIFA, which is also possible, doesn't care about Rockstar. Okay, now we're treading in territory of, okay, you really don't like Rockstar? You really not going to buy Grand Theft Auto 6? All right, okay, we'll see about that. Not going to play Battlefield 6? Okay, you see what I'm saying? All the big AAAs that are coming, right? They're going to be $70. At a certain point, there's going to be a game out there that somebody likes that costs $70 and they're going to pay for it day one. That's why that's why I'm like, I'm not trying to hear or argue with any of you. Because in order to stand this ground, that means when you see these big games come in, you know, the next CD Projekt Red game, the next Rockstar game, you know, the next big EA game or Ubisoft game, and they release for $70, you ain't going to buy it. You're going to hold the line for the next 7 years. Every time. Like, come on, man. Stop it. Like, you guys, like, I don't believe y'all. I don't believe any of y'all. So you're telling me all these dudes, I ain't buying that game. Okay, so when From Software releases Dark Souls 4, you ain't paying $70? After I see on your, you know, gamer tag or whatever, you beat every Dark Souls game? So you're going to hold out now, right? Nah, come on now. It's just, you know, I can understand... Like exactly what J-Dub says. You're going to raise the bar. You're going to have more stricter requirements. You know, maybe the list of developers and publishers where you'll buy day one $60 games now got less. Now there's less developers that you'll straight up say, hey, I trust these developers for day 170, but not at, you know, at 70, but not the, you know, I can understand that. And even then, there's always ways to save money on PS5. Like, again, a lot of people game share. So not everybody's going to buy a game. It's going to be their buddy buy a game, and they just go back and forth. And like I said before, there's GameFly. There's a lot of people with GameFly. And those games come out day one on GameFly. You just put it on your queue, it gets mailed to you, you play it, you send it back, and then there's still the used game industry. Because as long as there's physical discs, you're still going to have the used game industry. Someone's still gonna push out those used games, and that's just how it is. So there's ways to save money. My thing is I'm not worrying about like the $70 or the $15 because whatever you're willing to pay for, and I'm like Optimus, I have no problem paying money for my primary hobby. Why would I? It's the thing I enjoy the most, right? My main thing is give me access to quality games, right?
Yes.
You know, a lot of people think I have issues with Game Pass. I don't have issues with Game Pass at all. You understand? To me, Game Pass is just a service. It's a way to. Microsoft has a system to monetize how they want to deliver games to you. So I have no issues with that. That's never been my issue. My issue has never been that. You know, just like no different than GameFly, no different than PS Now. My issue is when I ask, okay, what's there to play that would make me buy a $500 next generation console? My issue is when they answer it with Game Pass. That's not an answer for a new console. I mean, I could do Game Pass right now on the Xbox One I got right now. What games, what content, what big heavy hitters is all there on the Xbox Series X? The answer to that, whatever's on Game Pass. I'm like, oh, man. And that's my issue. If I'm asking you for specific games and specific heavy hitters, and you can't answer, then clearly you recognize that this new next generation console doesn't have heavy hitters. And just admit it. Just admit, hey, right now, Xbox ain't got it. Right now, the best thing about it is just a service where I could play a whole bunch of stuff, which primarily is Xbox One games. You don't really need a new Xbox. I'm not saying don't get it, but if I'm asking you and I'm looking for heavy hitters, just simply admit and say Xbox don't got the heavy hitters. And the ones that are heavy hitters, you could probably already play on your PlayStation because they're multiplats. Like Outriders is like the big heavy hitter for Xbox.
Yeah.
Well, I don't need to buy a $500 console to play Outriders. It wouldn't even make sense. So I'm gonna save money signing up for Game Pass to play Outriders by paying $500 when I could just buy the game for $70. And only, like I don't need to pay $500 that doesn't even make sense. That's not saving money. You understand what I'm saying? So that's my thing. So Game Pass is fine. But I want big heavy hitters. I'm looking forward to Returnal. But let me go with Optimus because I haven't hit him up. So Optimus, you know, as a person who fully understands development, being a developer, how do you see Housemarque raising the bar? And so far, they're getting a lot of positive previews on this game to the point where some people are now saying, yeah, this game is worth $70. How does that make you feel just from a person who understands the industry? And I guess on a professional level, seeing other developers getting this type of praise.
Well, so first, let me say that I tweeted about this yesterday, I think it was. I don't remember, in the last couple of days. So not only me as a developer, but I guarantee you that every single developer that works for Microsoft and Xbox, 100% of those developers are rooting for Housemarque and Returnal. And not only do I want to see them succeed and happy that the early signs are showing the positive results for them, but every other creative, every other developer, even the ones that work for Microsoft, are pulling for them because it's more of a fraternity with the creatives and the dev teams. They want each other to succeed. Nobody wins from a failure, like nobody. As if each team wins and if each team produces a better team, if each team produces a better game, then that drives the next team to do a better game on top of that and a better game on top of that, so on and so forth. So it's like having that good, healthy competition raises the bar for everyone. Nobody in the gaming industry that's like a creative, that's a developer, nobody benefits when a game fails. I guarantee you right now, the developers for Sony are rooting for 343 and Halo Infinite. They want them to succeed. So the hatred that exists in these Twitter streets and all of this stuff, that doesn't exist for real when it comes to the developers. So yes, I am happy. I am rooting for them. I think they have done a great job. It seems like they've been really smart with the money and resources that Sony has invested in them. When I say resources, I mean the stuff J-Dub was talking about. Access to technical documents, access to our tech teams, and all of that good type of stuff. Just the investment that Sony has made in them to produce this game. They've clearly used it wisely. And it looks like early impressions are saying that like it's going to be a really nice title. So yes, I'm rooting for them, and I think they've done a great job so far.
All right, let me hit this super chat because I like one comment you made. Marcus Moore, honestly, I feel bad for anyone that spent $500 on a console with nothing. Cough Series X. Oh man, this chat's going. This chat's going.
Well, hold on. So I bought a Series X.
Man,
y'all know I've been hating on these block of games for a minute.
So he felt sorry for you, man. He's just showing his pity for you.
It's not for nothing. I mean, it ain't got the bangers.
As a fellow, listen, as a fellow gamers, we are sympathetic to your plight. We know when you walk in your man cave, you're like this, looking at your Series X. Like Optimus is like this. He's with his PS5, but he's staring at his Series X hard, like.
Man, stop this. I'm just saying it ain't for nothing, right? Like, there are some benefits to the console, but the main
it's great tech. It's great tech.
Thing, yeah, like, it's just, it's dry. There's really nothing to show it off. There's really nothing, like you said, there's no compelling reason to invest in it unless you just an early adopter. And like we said earlier, I spend money on gaming. This is what I do.
Okay. That's great, you know. But what you mentioned before is about indie devs rooting for this team, and I could see the synergy right there. Because let's say if Housemarque, right? They just came out of the blue. Even Sony Housemarque. I keep saying Marquee. Housemarque, right?
Yeah.
They had another project that they were making on, and Sony said, put that to the side. We want you to do this, or however that relation. But they were in the middle of making a multiplayer game, and Housemarque said that they put that to the side to work on this project, right? And Sony's fully funding it and all that stuff, right? If this game's successful, right? You know, if Sony was willing to take a chance on Housemarque and this game's successful, couldn't that also give leverage? I wouldn't say maybe leverage is the bad word, but wouldn't like the other indie developers look at their publishers like, hey, have faith in us. Look what Housemarque is able to do. Give us a chance too. Like, give the indie developers the opportunity. Because like I said, indie developers, they're indies simply because of budget and time constraint on money constraint. Really? Is that a fair statement? But if you have a big publisher that says, hey, we're going to take this indie, studio, we're going to give you the money, and if you need more manpower, we will hire the manpower. You guys decide who you want to hire. We're going to make you bigger, even if it's temporarily. Like if you're an indie studio of 20 people, we'll hire 300-400 on a temporary basis to get the game you want out. That's something that comes down to the publisher having faith, or at least willing to take a chance. Could this be a first step in more indie developers getting that opportunity? If Housemarque did it, and it'd be like, damn, Sony, was willing to have faith in these dudes. You know what? Hey, you guys, you think you could do something like that? You think that's another aspect of go Housemarque, go.
Absolutely, 100%.
It's also everybody. Yeah, I think the bigger picture from that is because this game most likely, will be successful, other smaller studios will be willing to, be like, hey, Sony, here we go. They're going to choose that direction. They'll be like, hey, look, man, Housemarque, these guys are making fucking Rezo gun and shit like this. And Sony believed in them and, let them do their thing, gave them some money, and look, they popped out a banger, made plenty of money at $70 a pop. Like, fuck that. We stop what we're doing here. Forget that Game Pass stuff. I'm jumping on the big money ship over here with PlayStation. You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, like, I'm just saying as from the outside looking in, right? It just seems like, man, that's a winning strategy, or it's more enticing for developers of smaller games. And I know Sony got yelled at recently in the last week saying that, Sony. So Jim Ryan says he's focused on big blockbuster AAA games but what about the indies? What about the small games? But they're obviously developing and investing in indies as well. They just want to reassure the diehard fan base that we haven't forgot about the big blockbuster games. So it's a damn if you do and damn if you don't situation for Sony at times, depending on, the story that comes out, the fake rumors and all that stuff. They have to kind of have their PR team to clean that stuff up. But shout out to Sony for doing that, man. They didn't have to, support this team for doing something big. Maybe Housemarque would have continued making smaller games that they felt like their 25-person team could make for the next 20 years. But now, guess what? They probably get a little bit more bread in their pocket. They probably expand their studio to 50, 60, 75 people, maybe a couple hundred. We don't know what the ramifications for this is going to be. But it's all on the upside. It's all on the upside from here on out for them.
So actually, Housemarque, they were saying that they were done with arcade shooters. They were saying that it's actually wasn't sustainable because even though like they made critically acclaimed games, the genre, the genre, that type of genre they were in just wasn't high selling. It just wasn't a high seller. I think specifically it says right here, we are really proud of what we accomplished with Nex Machina, said Housemarque CEO Iyari Kutin. I apologize for not pronouncing your last name right, but it was a passionate work of love, and we got to work with our hero Eugene Jarvis. We don't have regrets. We would have liked to continue down this path, but unfortunately that's not possible. I think we've seen the writing on the wall for quite a long time. We were just hoping that we might be able to reverse the tide. So I think Housemarque is done with like little arcade shooters. They want big budget games. They want bigger games, and Sony's helping them out. And I think, and I like this Sony, right? I'm gonna be honest. And I will say this: I know the conversation of, oh no, we need single A's, we need double A's, we need indies, because they fill in the gaps of these big triple A's, right? But what if, and Optimus, myself, we talked about this. But what if Sony was able, through coordination of their own studios, second party deals, exclusive third party deals, what if Sony was able to sustain the output of triple A's? So instead of worrying about these double A's and single A's and indie titles to fill the gaps, what if Sony is filling the gaps with more triple A's? What if Sony's done and like, you know what? Granted, yeah, we release a nice single A and that satisfies the customers who are already on the console, right? Like if you already own a PlayStation or console, sure, the single A's and double A's will make you happy, but they don't attract new people. Like those games aren't system sellers. They just attract the people that's already there. But what if we, instead of just worrying about single A's and double A's, we just create more triple A's, which will still satisfy the people already on the console, but those games will attract the people not there, which I think is what Sony's trying to do. They're not trying to just satisfy the people who already have the console. They're trying to do that while still have the content that gets the people who aren't on the console yet. You think that's a great strategy? You think that's a daring strategy?
I think it's
talking to me.
Go
ahead, Jay.
Go
ahead, Jay.
I think it's a good strategy because at the end of the day, it's the big blockbuster games that put the consoles into homes. Now, it's the indie, smaller games that sustain it while you're waiting for the other big blockbuster games, right? It keeps your system from being dry all the time. But it also introduces people who are not into, the big blockbuster Transformer, Michael Bay type explosion type games as well. So I think you got to be diverse, but at the same time, at the end of the day, Sony sees it that the people want to play the God of War. They want the Uncharted. They want the big stuff, right? And it's been working for them so far. It's been far exceedingly successful for them. We can tell by all their big blockbuster games, right? Tend to sell 20 million copies, which is the first in history for them or for most companies. So if it's working for them, they're doubling down on that strategy. I don't see that. I don't see no way they can win. They can lose with that particular strategy. It's basically giving us what we're asking for, and it's just going to double down and doing that. Now, by the way, doing what they did with Housemarque, taking the indie team, giving them the money and having them to make a AAA game is even more cheaper and more sustainable because they don't have to spend $200, $300, $400 million on just one game. They probably sunk, I'm just going to throw a number out there, right? I don't know, let's say $30 million to make Returnal. Well, you know how many Returnal classification or smaller studios like Housemarque that are out there. So if they go gobble up 10 of them to make these AAA type games, then I mean they're going to finish the generation just on top with nothing but big AAA games, which is what most gamers tend to want.
Okay. What do you think about the Optimist? That because I know one of the concerns is output, right? Did Sony figure out a way for output? Because, and you said it best, right? If Sony is still releasing the same amount of AAAs they did on the PS4, but now no double A's, no single A's, no indies, then technically we're getting less games.
Yeah, right. So I agree with J-Dub. Let me be very clear about that. Mm-hmm. And I would just phrase it a little bit differently. I would say that you can't sacrifice one for the other, that you need both. You need the big blockbuster titles. You need the MCU movies. You need the summer blockbusters. You need the Thanksgiving and Christmas Day bangers. But in between, you need the smaller titles, the smaller movies. And for me personally, again, this is just my own personal preference, but it's rare that I play a AAA game back to back. Like,
absolutely,
a lot of work, man.
Absolutely,
especially like RPGs. Like, oh man,
yeah. No, Days Gone. Like, you know how long Days Gone is, and this man just done got the platinum. So when I was in the same boat, right? When I play a big blockbuster game that's long, big open world drawn out, after I beat that, I like playing smaller games that I can jump in and jump out. That gives me some breathing room. If not, I get fatigued. Exactly. Yeah, you can't keep sinking 200 hours into these freaking games. You know, it's mind-boggling. You know, Red Dead. I was so exhausted after I beat Red Dead when it came out. I was like, man, I don't want to play a big game for a minute.
That's when you play Super Lucky's Tales.
Facts. I didn't mind the Astrobot, or even just jumping into 2K, playing a quick match. It's something I could jump into without having my brain just sitting there for hours and hours and hours. It's fatigue. Fatigue sets in.
No,
absolutely.
Okay.
So that's what I'm saying. Okay. So yeah, you definitely need the smaller titles as well. Again, you can't sacrifice one for the other. So I think it's obvious that you can't only be the smaller titles, because then that's not a compelling reason to buy a new next-gen console. You could have just done that where you was. But then you also need the big blockbuster titles, but you can't only have those either.
Okay.
So I do think that Sony has figured out how to do both. Some stuff I can't really talk about, or I shouldn't really talk about, but it's obvious that, exactly like Jay said, we're going to focus on the blockbusters. But that doesn't mean that we're not going to also have a strong presence in the indie titles. That's just an assumption that a certain fan base ran with, because, you know, that's just what they do.
Mm-hmm. All right, my man Batosai, he says, sad you did not react to my Lost Solar Side tweet. Oh, did I miss something? But we're going to talk about that, too. We're going to talk about Lost Solar Side. Trust me. I've been waiting for years.
I remember when they first came out that game, Porter Rock was all about Lost Solar Side.
Yeah, and then it just went dark. I'm like, what
the fuck? Every E3, he was like, well, they didn't show I
felt like an Xbox. Wait for E3. Facts. Wait. What was the show they used to have in the winter?
What
was it called?
What was the name of that show?
You went there one time. You were there all day.
PSX.
The PSX. Yep. Wait till PSX, PlayStation Experience.
Yeah.
I'm like, wait to San Diego Comic-Con. I'm like, God damn it, what happened? I'm like, wait to Tokyo Game Show. Like, what the hell happened to this game?
Big facts.
Oh, man, I've been waiting there. Kieran Thompson, glad to see you're still rocking Porter Rock. What did you think about the new Almost Solar Side gameplay, and do you think there will be more from him? Oh, man, that 17. I had to watch the preview because it's been like almost 2-3 years I didn't hear anything from that dude. And I follow his Twitter account. Yeah, the gameplay looks phenomenal. Oh my god! Now I'm hearing there's a PS5 upgrade, a PS5 version. I just cannot wait.
Yeah.
My sister from another mister, the Ashen Luca. Catch her on Saturdays. What up, my bros? Welcome back, Kratos. I see the boss tried to get you the F off Twitter again. Shaking my head. Rock. Tell your pony boys we good with our Xbox Series X. No, you're not.
Big stop facts. Appreciate that. Big facts.
Stop. Sister, stop. You're not good. Stop lying.
Appreciate it.
You know Destiny is saving you from that misery. No, I'm just kidding. Shout out to Luca. Thanks for looking out. Catch her on Saturdays. Beating up heads and stuff, right? So, great segue with the indies, because the next image I want to talk about is Sony announced a State of Play. It's broadcasting this Thursday. I will not be live streaming it because it's at 2 p.m. and I'll be at work. But I will watch it and then probably do a hot take. But I'm gonna say this. I guess the star of the show is gonna be Ratchet and Clank. So I'm looking forward to seeing more about that. But I want to start with the nonsense. I don't want to be. I want to go. I want to call a spade a spade. A couple of weeks ago, everybody had outrage of the thought of Sony not supporting indies. They're only going to focus on big AAAs. You heard it, and Optimus said, that's just a narrative. Certain groups were doing, right. So with this state of play, how do you think people... I'm going to start with J-Dub. How do you think people are going to react at the end of this state of play? Are people going to be fake and pretend to like it? Are people still going to be honest? Like, I don't want to see this stuff. Where are the big games? Like, what do you think is going to happen?
Listen.
Because that's really the entertainment I want to see.
Listen.
That's entertainment. Exactly. I'm waiting to see people complain.
Listen, you're going to have to go live after that because you're going to see all the people that said the show was good in the beginning when they showed Ratchet and Clank, but then it fell off and it was trash because they started showing all these indies. You see what I'm saying? It's a catch-22. That's why I said there's a lot of frauds that just follow the whatever's the hot ticket at the moment. They're not genuine at all, right? They're not genuine at all. It's the mere fact that Sony can come out with a state of play that show you nothing but indies and VR games, and everyone says it's trash. But then when Sony says, hey, we're going to double down and triple down on big blockbuster AAA IP, they say, oh, my God, yeah, what about the small indie developers? What about them? Think about them. I love the indie games, right? But then when they show you an event that's going to have both, they're going to have the AAA.
They like the AAA, but they like, oh, but the show went to shit.
When they're going to say... The show was so-so. They show some good stuff and they show some trash. Watch it. It's like clockwork, man. You cannot please these guys because they don't want you to. They don't care, right? They don't care. These are the Madden guys. These are the 2K guys. These are the casuals. This is just them. So you can't help them.
So I'm gonna give a description of the beat. So the dudes that had all the fake outrage and they know who they are, and we got receipts. They're like, Sony's not doing indies. I love indies. Now they're gonna be like this. We're gonna pretend this is indies. They're gonna watch it and they're gonna be like this. It's great. I love it. Good job, Sony. I love more. Yeah. I'm gonna drink more.
Facts.
Great job, guys. Indies all the way. That's how they're going to be like. There's going to be so much fake indie love. It's going to be, even I'm going to be disgusted looking at it. I'm going to be like, there's going to be so much fake love. I can't wait to hear Zaire because Zaire's going to keep it real. He's going to be like,
oh, you know it. Yeah.
Shit.
Facts.
Optimist. Facts. So how about you? What do you think is going to be like the reaction from your super bots? That's what you call them. No, you call them ultra bots.
The bot ultras, yeah.
Bot ultras. What do you think?
That's them. You got the regular bots, and then you got the ultras. They the ones that's like leveled up, got all the best gear, all that good stuff that you have to take them down. They harder to take down than the regular bots. But I mean, y'all know how this is gonna go. Jay said it earlier. No matter what Sony does, there will be a certain segment that will always try to make it a negative. Yeah. But that same thing is true in reverse. No matter what Xbox does, there are certain people. I'm not going to call no names. I'm not going to tell you his initial, but his Twitter handle is JDub.
As he should. But you know what? JDub is really only asking for one thing. He just wants great games.
Me too.
He's been asking that for like 6 years. Yeah. Like 5 years. That's it.
Yes.
I'm with both of y'all on that. That's the same thing that I want from Xbox. But my point is, no matter what Sony does with this state of play, you will find some people that are just going to try to downplay it. The good news is exactly what you're doing with this setup, Rock. We will have tools and ammunition at our disposal to fight these bots and bot ultras because they clearly are in a hard spot now. You cried about it was just an indie showcase. and it was horrible. Then you said Sony's going away from indies, and that's horrible. Now Sony's going back to an indie showcase. So now if you about Ultra, you kind of stuck as to what your complaint can be. So yeah, we ready for all the drama that's going to happen after this state.
They were even saying, "Oh, Xbox ID, so Xbox is the place for indies." Okay.
Yeah, ID at Xbox. Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Okay, so we're about to see reaction. Shout out to the sister from another mister. She said, I was one of the few people saying I wasn't worried about PlayStation. I know Jim Ryan is a Judas, but dudes were overreacting. In my opinion, Returnal plus Ratchet look fire. Facts. She always preaches the truth. And now people are going to read that super chat and they're going to call her a pony. And they're going to attack her now on Twitter. She not worried. Because she ain't worried. She loves it. She loves the drama. She's like, bring it. She's like filing her nails. Bring it. That's how right now. Okay, so yeah. So we'll see state of play. We're gonna see the reaction. I hope they show some more interesting. I hope they show a little bit more Sifu. I seen some. Man, that game looks really good.
Wait, when is that game supposed to be dropping?
Let me look it up right now.
I don't know. I think it's this year, but I don't know when.
Yeah, it's this year, but it wasn't supposed to be too far away.
That game, it looks really good. It just says 2021. Doesn't have.
Okay.
It looks really good.
Because if you look on Twitter, they've been showing a lot of this game.
Yes, I seen
they've been showing a lot of it. Yeah,
it looks incredible. I'm like, man, it has that Saturday afternoon kung fu feel.
Yes,
that's just straight up.
The animations. This game is like the animations of this game is just crazy.
Yeah, I'm gonna have enter the 36 Chambers soundtrack.
Yeah,
CD playing Wu-Tang, and I'm gonna play this game on the Wu-Tang beat.
Facts. But this one point I want to bring up, Porter Rock, because I remember having this discussion. Right. I like the game. I said, "Oh man, this game looks amazing." And then these Xbots out there, CJ Dub, you, it's a cartoony game, and you said you don't like cartoony games. I said, no, that's not what I said. I don't mind certain art style type games. I don't even mind cartoony games. It's the quality of the game that they don't understand that I'm talking about when it's about an Xbox game. It's the quality. You look at Ratchet and Clank. It's a cartoony game.
That's a Pixar. People comparing it to a Pixar.
Listen, it's a difference between that and the other game, the Super Lucky's Tale. You see what I'm saying? It's just Sony games hit with an extra oomph in quality and stature. Like it's like. It's a quality of life in that game. It just shows you that they poured their heart and souls into a game. And then you got the other side, the bleeding edges and stuff and stuff like that. They're just like, so from the Xbox side, I want that quality of life that Sony's giving you, but on the Xbox side. And there's nothing wrong with that, man. It's a huge disparity.
Yeah, that's
it ain't no disparity. You just biased, J-Dub.
Absolutely, I am.
No, he's not biased. He holds them to a standard that will not change.
Absolutely,
it doesn't get adjusted. Like I mean, both products are $500. So why can't they be held to the same standard? If anything, we should be holding Xbox to a higher standard. It is full RDNA 2.
Facts. 12 T-flops, 12 T-bags, like Z say, T-bags to power. You know.
It got full tier 2 VRS. Now there's a tier to this. There's tiers to this. VRS tier 2. I'm just saying.
Well, I'm
52 CUs. 52 CUs.
Listen, I'm glad you
shout out to Craig, who's still trying to figure out what a CU is.
We got the right man for the job on this. And I want to understand this. Okay. Because a lot of bots have put this out there that PS5 is RDNA 1 or 1.5, right? And the X Series X is full RDNA 2 tier 2, right? I know he don't. I know, but you know, I gotta play for the chat, right? I gotta, this is my welcome back rant. So how can you get games on the PS5 from day one, like Miles Morales and Demon Souls and stuff like that, that has the ray tracing, the 4K, the HDR, the 60 frames a second, and all the bells and whistles that looks like something beyond
and the dev talent.
Something. Exactly, something that
I listen.
They call it 9 T-flops, RDNA 1, right? But how is this capable on this platform? And yet you look on the other side and you got games like the Falconeer and the Meat. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just, and I'm not just talking about this generation, but let's go back to last generation when you had a 6 T-flop system versus a 1.3 T-flop system. 1.8 T-flops. You know what I'm saying? We never saw, like, I don't know what it is. Listen, I'm not a tech guy, but if it looks like a duck and quacks like duck, some tell me the PS5 is RDNA 5 at the moment. You know what I'm saying?
I listen to Optimus. Dev talent, tools, compilers, resources.
Yeah,
fast.
He's been saying that for. He's been saying that. How long you been saying that? Over a year?
Man, over a year.
And I'm the only one that listened.
Yeah.
And it was funny, and I know we say this story all the time. He wasn't even saying it for me. He was telling them. And I'm the one. I'm the, like he's saying it, and like he's saying it, and they're like arguing. I'm like, what was that last part, Optimus? The compiler?
I was saying it so that they could use it against you.
And
yes.
Tools? Okay. Resources. Got it. I'm like, yep, that's part of my playbook. And that wasn't his intention. His intention wasn't to make my playbook better.
Yes, I was trying to share this stuff so that they could use it against you. Like, because this dude, like, he's arguing from strength. They need to know how this works so that way they can have a better response to him, you specifically. Yeah. And every single time they ignore what I said, and literally you would come in to Twitter, you would hit me up, you'd be like, they not listening to you, bro.
But I am. But I'm listening.
So I would be like 20, 30 tweets deep trying to explain this stuff. And you was like, all right, keep on.
And I'm like, hey, how's it going? I'm like, how's it going so far? He like 40 tweets deep. I would just come in like, hey, how things going? Making progress?
The very stuff that I was trying to teach them, you learned it instead. And I was like, oh, God.
Like, you know what? Y'all deserve to get clowned.
I'm done with this group. Yeah.
TGK, he says, Sony might show more footage of Abandoned. That's that horror game, right? That first-person horror? Let's see. Maybe so.
I don't know.
Yeah. I think so. Look it up. The Abandoned. Yeah, it looks pretty good. And the Vegeta. That Lost Souls Aside looks fire. Oh, man. Oh. Wait a minute. And Sure says, don't forget to talk about Battlefield 6 has no campaign trailer. Has no campaign? Wait, what? Anybody heard about that?
Confirmed?
Is that confirmed or is that rumor? I didn't hear that yet. Battlefield 6 has no campaign.
I don't believe that. I don't believe that. There's no way. These guys have been working on this game for a while. They got supposed to have all this new tech and stuff in it. It's going to be a showpiece for the next generation consoles. I don't see that happening. I don't think Battlefield's ready to pull that.
No, they may have right now it looks like a rumor
or something like that.
So it says the Battlefield 6 might launch without campaign. Reportedly featured. Well, let's see. Let me see what's going on here. I think because I remember Call of Duty got such big backlash over that they brought it back. Battlefield 6 will reportedly feature a revamped it says revamped campaign, but this is 29 March. So maybe I'll look. I don't know. I'll look into it, but I don't want to talk about it now because I don't think any of us even heard of that. I don't think any of us even heard about that. Right now it might just be clickbait. Because I'm seeing the YouTubes. Battlefield 6 reveal. No campaign in big bold letters. Yeah, I think right now it might be clickbait. But we'll talk about. I might do a hot take. We'll see how that goes.
Dig into it, Rock.
Yeah. So next thing. So right now I got Ratchet and Clank. New trailer came out. Gorgeous. Like what is it? Like Optimus. What is Insomniac doing, bro? Like how is it possible? Like I made a tweet and I showed them. If you look back in November, they released Miles Morales. They remastered Spider-Man. Then they updated then they updated Miles Morales with 60 FPS with ray tracing.
4K with ray tracing. Yep.
Okay. Then they
it wasn't 4K.
No, it wasn't 4K. They did.
It was dynamic 4K. Dynamic 4K.
Yeah. So, but they found a way to get it 60 frames. The most important part is get ray tracing at 60 frames. Then they added muscle deformation with machine learning, so they're tinkering with that. Yep. Then they updated Ratchet and Clank, which was given away for free at 60 FPS, 60 frames.
Yep.
And now they're releasing Ratchet and Clank, and you know they're working on Spider-Man 2. That's a fact. That's clearly evident. Like,
I'd be surprised if they weren't.
Optimus. Like how optimizes the studio to do all this? And like, can you think of that work environment of just how they're making this happen?
So I think they're working from home. They may be back in the studio. I don't know. I'm not sure. I think at least to some degree they are back in the studio. But it's what we said about 5 or 10 minutes ago, Rock. It's very simple. Dev skill and talent, tools and compilers, resources and time. And it's obvious that they click in on all three of those. They have the dev skill, which is like the programmers, the people that's writing the code, the hardware people, the optimization people. They've got the talent, which is like your artists, your story writers, your creative director, your sound people, like all of this stuff. They have all of that stuff on lock. Their greatest weapon is the people. And they are clearly doing everything they can to get every ounce of every piece of everything that's in the PlayStation 5. And it shows up in the work. And people love working there. I don't want to say too much on this front, but it's obvious that they have a great culture and a great working environment. People love going to work there. It is exciting to be a part of what they're doing. And then, like Jay has said so many times, he didn't use these words, but it's exactly what he's saying. The end product speaks for itself. You can look at the output of a game from Insomniac and it answers all the questions. You don't need to say anything else. Just let the game speak. Clearly, they know what they're doing over.
Yeah.
Man, so go ahead.
I'll add a little bit more to them. I think this was the best investment Sony ever did, the best acquisition ever, because they bought this studio, I believe, for like 200 and some change, $200 million, right? And by doing that, they got the last Ratchet and Clank. They got, not only did they get the last Ratchet and Clank that they had, but they were able to get Spider-Man out the door. They were able to get Miles Morales out the door for launch of a next generation. And it was able to turn around 6 months later and drop another brand new Ratchet and Clank IP, right? So these guys
all in the middle of a pandemic.
All in the middle of a pandemic. That's 3 to 4 titles right there, on top of updating all the other games with the new tech and the new engines and all the machine learning and all the stuff. They were able to do all of that all at the same time. And I don't this is nuts, right? So that's why once before I said that acquisition has gave Sony a better return on investment than I think the Bethesda acquisition is. And only because it's going to take time for Bethesda to get into their rhythm and do their things from what I see now. Right? I could be wrong. I hope they come out next month and announce 5 new IPs that's dropping 3 months apart. But Sony only bought this studio like 2.5 years ago, and they were able to produce all of that in that amount of time. And guess what? When they drop, don't think that once they drop that Ratchet and Clank, I guarantee you, maybe the next E3 they show us a trailer of the Spider-Man 2. Right? They're gonna have some shit ready then. So,
man, can you imagine what that's gonna be like?
Man, this is it's nuts, and I think Sony is prepping, because we know Guerrilla Games is working on
Horizon.
They're working on Horizon, right? So that we got that. They have a second studio, a second team that they're working on something else. It's presumed to be another, just rumored. I'm just throwing that out there. Maybe another Killzone or what's another shooter that
it's most likely It's most likely a shooter because
it's a shooter.
3-4 years ago they hired the devs who did Rainbow Six Siege, so they have that team with them. So
exactly,
yeah.
So it could be a Soulcom, it could be a Resistance or whatever, right? Or another Killzone. So they're working on that. On top of Naughty Dog, obviously it just kind of came out in rumors they're working on Uncharted 5 and the Last of Us 2 remake. Last of Us 1 remake and some other stuff on top of the multiplayer of The Last of Us 2. So they're doing their thing. And then the other, you got Insomniac doing their thing with this here. And then what they're doing with Housemarque and some of their other smaller studios and their second party. These guys are fucking, they have it seems like they have a well-oiled machine and a plan to constantly crank out these games over, and that took years, if not a couple of decades, to get down. I don't think any other company can come out, buy a bunch of stuff, and get it lubed and oil and running like Sony have with their first party and their deals. It's crazy, man. And as a gamer, that's what you want to see. That's what you want to see.
Definitely. All right. So, man, that's going then. So, last topic. Is this one? Is it ready? Here you go. Oh yeah. So Los Solar Side. So hey, Optimus, you know much about this game? Have you heard of it? Besides
So yeah, I know what it is, but only the same way as everybody else. I've seen the same footage, the same clips, and all of that good stuff. Okay. I have some thoughts on it, but I probably don't want to share them because I know a lot of people are hyped and excited about it.
Go ahead, share them. What's your thoughts?
I don't know. So I was talking to a couple of people, and we sort of have this rule where we would like to see, before we get hyped about any new game or trailer, we want to see at least 30 to 60 seconds of uninterrupted gameplay, where it's all gameplay the whole time, and it's not spliced with cinematics and that type of stuff. And so far, even with this new 17 minutes thing, I'm not sure I've seen that. I was looking for it was 17 minutes, but I'm not sure I've seen 60 seconds of consecutive gameplay. So right now, I'm analyzing it, and me, a couple of other people are looking at it.
Even the fighting scene, or do you think the fighting scene was canned or whatever?
Well, I don't know. That's why I don't really want to say yet, because I'm in the middle of analyzing it. Okay. But it certainly looks good. It looks exciting. There's no doubt about that. But I'm beyond where I'm being tricked, right? Because there's a common theme to try to splice those together to generate excitement. So if after I do my analysis and I'm looking at them, okay, yeah, I can see the uninterrupted gameplay, I'll definitely be hyped for it because it looks amazing. I just need to make sure that it's actual gameplay and not cinematics.
Okay.
Can I play it like this? When I play it, this is what it's going to look like.
Okay. Interesting.
Puerto Rock, isn't this game made by what's one of the games that made by one guy?
Yeah. So originally
it started out with one guy.
It started out with one guy. He did a little demo, and then Sony, I think, wrapped it under the China Hero project, and they gave him a bigger budget.
And they got 30 more people or something now.
And they're supporting a lot of Chinese developers. I think Sifu was also. Maybe, I think. Am I wrong?
Was it? I don't know.
I'm not sure. I have to look. I know there's a couple of games that fall under the China Hero project that Sony's investing more in Chinese development because they opened up a PlayStation store in China, so China's a really untapped market for console gaming.
Yeah, absolutely.
Because PC gaming is huge over there. So they're trying to tap into that market. And when you have, and I think a key to that is having homegrown developers within that market, right? So we'll see with this one. Mega 3000, he says, did you guys notice how silent the bots were yesterday on Twitter? Ratchet looks so damn good. that bots went into hiding. Ratchet looks flawless. Fire. I mean, the game looks incredible, man. Like Insomniac is like the Derek Jeter of gaming. Like when the Yankees picked up Derek Jeter as a rookie, that's pretty much what Sony did. Insomniac by themselves are outdoing all of Xbox. You know, I mean,
yeah.
You keep ranking 23 studios, and we ain't seeing anything.
Facts.
All right, and Twisted Sin. Just to let you know, I live 15 minutes away from Insomniac, North Carolina. There is a Chick-fil-A that I go to that is right across the street. I haven't seen many cars parked there, probably working at home. Oh, okay. Notice he mentioned that Chick-fil-A, though. Man, that shit sounds good right now. I ain't gonna lie. Oh, man, you had to mention that. Man, that sounds good right now. But with Lost Soulside, so the backstory to this, so it was, guy who showed me the video first. It was this dude, Iron Wolf. Right? When he finally, back in the day. Yeah, when he crossed over, he was a hardcore Xbox dude. And after the PSX, he had enough. He's like, I'm done. You know what I'm saying? Because, and that's, he didn't see much Japanese support from there. But he showed me a video. He goes, hey, Porter, check this out. And I saw it. I'm like, yo. Because it looked like a combination of Final Fantasy and Bayonetta and all that stuff. And then I'm like, cool. And I saw the video. Then after that, the dude just went dark. Right? And J-Dub could attest to that. I'm like, man, maybe they might show it at E3. Okay, no. Maybe at PSX. Okay, no. Tokyo Game Show. Like, damn. Like, what happened to the game? Like, this game. And now we're in a PS5 gen. I'm like, man, I think this game fell off. So the fact that this game is back, now I'm kind of nervous. Because you got Optimus ruining my high. He's like, I'm analyzing, and that shit don't look like gameplay. I'm like, oh, man.
I said I don't want to talk about it.
You ruined my high right now. I definitely need some Chick-fil-A. But, I have faith. I have faith because the gameplay looks good. It looks like the dude has a vision. Let's just hope, he pulls through and stuff like that. So I see Optimus is analyzing. What about you, J-Dub? Is this day one for you, or are you analyzing?
It's the day one for me. I think it's gonna do
like you should.
I think it's gonna do facts.
If you're gonna take the mantle, you got to. Like
facts. Listen, here's the thing about it, right? With proper direction, the game is looking good. I know dudes are saying, "Oh, well, I've seen some frame drops and stuff like that." It's like, dude, the game is not finna drop tomorrow. They have plenty of time to fix all of that stuff. When I see games with frame drops and stuff like that, that's just cleanup work. Unless
you're Cyberpunk.
Yeah. We listen. That's a whole that's a whole different ball game. That's a whole different ball game. But that Puerto Rock, that does go to another point, right? How much money was spent on that game, right? And look how it came out compared to, one guy created this vision and showed it looked good to us, and now he has a little small team behind him helping him push it over the thing. Like, and nobody's expecting it to be, freaking Grand Theft Auto 6 or anything like that, but a nice small game. The graphics look good.
I like
and
the
stuff
combat.
like that.
That's what I'm looking forward to, because I like I like the Bayonetta. I like that aggressive, crazy combat.
Exactly.
Yeah. So
I'm all for it, man. I think it's going to be good. I think it's going to do pretty good.
All right. The Vegeta 90 says it looks like a more polished Crimson Desert. Never played that game. Chick-fil-A on you. Oh, Porter Rock. Man, I gotta get Chick-fil-A. Anyway. All right, so I think that's it. So now, before we head out, is there anything you guys want to talk about? Twitter, nonsense.
Let me go first, and then you can save the nuclear option for last.
Okay.
I'm gonna try to do this in 2 minutes or less.
All right, go ahead.
So a lot of people have this. So a long time ago, they wanted me to be in training to be like this minister or this pastor or whatever, and so the Reverend Optimus. Yeah, they were grooming me to take over this position or to be in this position. And as a result of that, I would be in the office when this pastor was counseling married couples about stuff.
Yeah.
And it was just for me to watch and learn and all of this good stuff to see how you handle these types of things. And this particular pastor that I was under, he had this philosophy that no matter what the situation was, you always wanted to make sure that each person had some blame in what was going on, because they would come and talk to him whenever they had problems, right? And so, for example, if the husband was beating the wife, when they came in for counseling, no matter how wrong the husband was, this pastor always insisted that the wife had done something that she could be held accountable for too. And so it was never the case that they would leave his office with only the husband having stuff to go do, and the wife felt like, okay, well, I don't have to change nothing. It was him. He was wrong. He wanted to make sure that it was always both of them that had some fault. If it was a case where the wife was cheating on her husband, he was out working, he was bringing all the money home like they had agreed and all of this stuff, and she was cheating on the man and doing this, still it's some kind of way it's this man's fault. Like, each person has to have some blame. I never agreed with that. Like, I would watch this play out and I never agreed.
But like, boy, my wife cheated on me. Shit. Yeah. And then you try to say, well, what were you doing? What do you mean what I was doing? I was working. What the hell am I supposed to do?
Well, that too. I mean, since you brought it up, facts.
Right.
But the whole thing was like, I was always of the mind that why not just say what's true? Right. If it is the case that the husband is getting drunk and beating on the wife and beating the kids for nothing, why can't we just say that's what it is? Yeah. It's like, why can't we just always tell the truth? Why do you have to try and manufacture that something has got to be bad about both people, whatever it is? And I noticed the same thing happening in like this whole gaming community stuff. It seems like people are determined if PlayStation does something good, or like me, for example, if I speak highly of PlayStation, because I am really happy with what I'm getting from them right now. Yeah. So if I speak highly of PlayStation, then people think that, okay, well, now you need to balance that out. And now you also need to find something good to say about Xbox. If you believe it or not, like it doesn't matter if it's actually true. You have to, in order to appear balanced, just like this pastor's approach, whatever you do to one, you have to do to the other. So if you say something good about PlayStation, you have to say something good about Xbox. If you say something bad about Xbox, then you have to say something bad about PlayStation, because they want you to keep them both in sync. I didn't agree with it back then, and I don't agree with it now. What I'm going to do is tell the whole truth, at least the way I see it every single time. I express my displeasure with Xbox because I am displeased. I am not expressing displeasure with Sony because I am not displeased. I'm going to say what's true, what I think and what I feel at any given moment. And just so we clear, do not come to my Twitter account expecting this fake notion of balance. If you come to my Twitter account, it's because you expect me to say what I think is true. I express my displeasure. I express my happiness. Whoever is giving me what I want is going to get praised. Whoever is not giving me what I want, they're going to get smoked. And that's it.
You know, that's a great topic. That's a great interesting, because I understand, like, I'm all about the banter, the jokes, you know, J-Dub's big on it, right? But I just know from the conversations and the replies, some people are very serious. Like, I could tell from the trolls and the people are having fun and, you know, and just shooting the shit, right? They're throwing jabs back, right? I can clearly tell those guys. But I can also tell the guys who are serious. And those guys that are serious, they're really mean. They really mean what they say, or they're really upset that people are talking trash. You know, especially those. Why can't just people enjoy gaming? I'm thinking, okay, this is my first thing. Do you honestly believe that words on Twitter is stopping anybody from playing a game or enjoying a game? Like, that's not possible. Yeah. Like, nothing like nothing that is happening. The jokes, the memes, the videos, the banter. Even if somebody says, my God, Chick-fil-A sucks ass, that's not going to stop me from enjoying Chick-fil-A. Because it just doesn't. Like, nothing that people say on Twitter or social media actually impacts people playing games, right? So I'm thinking, like, do these people not remember it's just simply a consumer product? That's it. Like, nobody has to like a consumer product. And if people who bought the consumer product are disappointed in it, and constantly just saying their grievance of, hey, this is not good, this company needs to do better, why is other people concerned that that's happening? Like, as long as you like the product, that's all that matters. As long as you enjoy what you pay for, you don't need to worry about other people's acceptance or approval.
I'm gonna tell you why. It's because deep down they're not happy, and they don't want to be. They don't want to be reminded that they're not happy.
They're constantly
the mere fact that every week I'm kicked off of Twitter tells you that they're fucking not happy. Because listen, at the same time, think about it, man. If I'm playing my PlayStation 5. And I'm minding my business. I'm playing on my PlayStation 5. I don't care. People say, hey, it needs the SSD. Y'all ain't got the SSD drive.
You don't got the expandable slot.
Yeah, they're talking about all the flaws, right? All the stuff. Y'all don't have old backwards compatibility games running at 4K, 1080p or whatever. Okay, fine. Like, how does that stop my enjoyment out of my console, right? At all. Nothing you can say that's going to stop that. That's going to change anything, right? But when I do it, when I point out the flaws of Xbox, right? Xbox ain't really got you got 2 next generation consoles, no next generation games. All the games are low quality. We're going to have to wait 2 and 3 more years to actually start getting some decent games. When I mention all of that stuff, it's like World War III. It's like, the fanboy this and fanboy that. And it's like, toxic. Okay, fine.
You know what I'm saying? It's a perfect example is like PSVR. I'm excited for the upcoming PSVR 2. I'm excited. I'm a buy day one. Remember before, I wasn't a believer. You convinced me. Y'all convinced me to do it.
Absolutely.
And I bit the bullet, and now I'm a believer, right? So I'm a day one PSVR 2 adopter, right? People say, oh, but it's niche. I'm like, and that, like that. What does the word niche mean to me in terms of me playing it and enjoying it? Like, it doesn't, like, if most people don't like to play VR because it gets them sick, vomit, or they don't want to wear a piece on their head, it doesn't matter. Like, I'm playing it and I'm going to enjoy it. I don't need validation from 50 million people to validate what I like, right? Sure, exactly. I'll go on Twitter and shoot the shit and banter, and jokes, whatever. But I'm not going to go on Twitter and complain, damn, why is everybody bashing PSVR 2? How come everybody's saying niche? Just be quiet and enjoy gaming. Like, I don't need to do that. Like, if people want to talk shit about VR, then talk shit. Like,
what that got to do with you?
It's your account, it's your Twitter account, your Facebook, whatever you do. Yeah. If you want to talk about and bash VR all day, then bash it. Like, I'm not going to stop you or cry about it. It's irrelevant, And I think a lot of dudes, like, no one's not enjoying. Like, if there are people who are truly not enjoying gaming because they go on Twitter or wherever and they see these negative posts and it upsets them, they don't understand why people are talking trash about Xbox or PlayStation, Nintendo. And if you're the type of person that really wants this to stop, I'm telling you, the issue is not the people talking shit about the console. The issue is with you. Something you, and this is not a joke, something's not right that you're letting this bother you. You're being stressed out over something that is not even worth being stressed out for. And you need to ask yourself, why is this random person stressing you out? Why, when you go to Porter Rock 77's Twitter account and you see me talk shit and you're actually bothered, why is that bothering you? Like, why are words on Twitter? Like, it's not like you're my best friend and we know each other in real life. It's not like we have dinner. It's not like you get invited over the house or something. Like, you don't know me.
Exactly.
Like, you don't know any of us. You don't hang out with us. So, like, why are you letting words on a thing really bother you? Like, if you want to enjoy on the razzle dazzle and the shit talking, then by all means, that's what we're doing.
But
it's a game of shit talking. But if you don't enjoy the shit talking, just ignore it.
Listen, that's the reason why most people do what they do. This is why they keep up. This is why I have unlimited amount of content, right? Because they give it to me. I see one, I say one, Xbox ain't got no game, and some dude just go on this tangent. I can tell his blood vessel in his vein from the pop in his head because it triggered him. And so it's like, dude, how can you be so triggered over something that's so stupid? Yeah. These are consoles, like, and a lot of them, right, they like to use that argument, well, I own both consoles, so it don't matter to me. But the mere fact that you had to go out of your way and say I own, like, who cares?
Those are
my tweets are not meant. It's not really meant for you unless it hits your soul. And then if it hits your soul, it was meant for you.
That's what confused me. First, you got the dudes like, I own both consoles. Like the dudes that be like, I own both consoles. Then why are you here? Like, why are you so nothing, like nothing impacts you. You got access to PlayStation greatness, and you got access to Xbox trash. You got the best of both worlds. Like you got Game Pass, you got PS, you can do whatever you want. Why are you worried about anybody worrying about something? Like, why are you worrying about if somebody you already made your decision? Like, do you need somebody else's approval? What it is, these dudes, like, and I think, like, you both notice this. You had to notice it. There's a lot of dudes selling these consoles. Like, they are providing free, non-profit sales pitch. Like, it's crazy that these dudes are selling these consoles. Like, it's beyond just saying, man, I really like Game Pass. Like, all right, I got it. Man, Game Pass, I was able to play these games. All right, cool. These dudes ain't doing that. They're like, man, Game Pass with over 300 and plus library, instantly accessible at your fingertips with the latest games such as yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, yo, this dude sound like a damn announcer. Like, what? Like, this is not like a personal enjoyment tweet. Like, you literally created like a sketch over this shit. Like, what are you guys doing? Like, holy shit. Sheriff PS5, he says, shout out to we bitches playing online, show the trophy. Oh, Craig's not here. He's not here right now. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, hey, Optimus, I really like that because it's true. You know, and I think you told us, somebody told you in a DM they wanted you to talk about something on PS5. Like, hey, just mention this and everything will be okay. And they
told me to just complain about the storage.
Like, that's it.
If I believed it or not, just say it, and they could help me with the Xbox community. Yeah.
Oh man. So they're trying to curate how you deal with people and how you.
Oh, man, I don't know. I didn't pay attention to that trash.
Well, there's a group, right? You said Pretzel Jones said he got invited to a group that specifically. There's a DM group that is specifically got members to try and hate on PlayStation. That like they are going to that they plan it out. That shit is crazy, man. Like, why don't you create a group to plan out playing games? Like, why don't you have a gaming group instead? Like you literally. And here's the thing, it's not going to work. Like, you guys cannot stop PlayStation 5 from selling, and you guys are not going to help Xbox sell more. That's like literally there's going to be zero impact because this is all just fun and shit talking. It's not going to actually result in anything, right? The only people that have the power to either ruin sales or improve sales is the company themselves, and that's with games. That's really it. You know what I'm saying? You want Xbox to sell more? They need to come out with bigger bangers, because simply saying you can save money on Game Pass is not enough. At a certain point, it's going to come down to, you know, how much big content, especially the day one first party. That's when the real fight begins, right? Because that's what everybody's waiting for. Everybody's holding out. The games are coming. The games are coming. It's the day one first party, right? And if Microsoft delivers quality game of the year level day one first party, that is really going to boost the service. That's really going to boost Game Pass, because it's not just games you could get somewhere else. It's unique content from the first party, and it's day and date on Game Pass. That's really going to help Game Pass take off, and not just Game Pass, the console. You know what I'm saying?
Puerto Rock, that also proves one point that we've been saying for 7-8 years now, in that exclusives matter. So there was this whole campaign last generation that exclusives didn't matter. Most people play multi-plats anyway, so it don't really matter, right? So all of a sudden now,
get purchased.
Now all of a sudden, we got exclusives. Starfield's going to be exclusive. It's like, wait, what happened to all of that? Exclusives don't matter because most people play third party and stuff like that. It's just the hypocrisy that you can see that guys have spent pretty much a decade rolling against because they didn't have it. You see what I'm saying? It's just, and I have all the tweets, right? They be putting them on display. A person say this and turn around and say that, and it's like
they provide so much content, so much receipts. They can't help it.
Even Phil Spencer himself have been out there. You know, it's not really about sales. Just play we just want you to play on any and every platform or whatever, and now all of a sudden it's, we want to be the console with the best place to play the exclusives, and it's just it's the hypocrisy, and I just make fun of it. But it's just like, wow, here we are in 2021, all the stuff that you spent all these years running against, all of a sudden you're so acceptance, and you want to keep something off of PlayStation or Nintendo or whatever, and it's just, I find it hilarious.
It is pretty funny, and it's just pretty much they're just playing to the strength of what they can currently provide. And Phil knew he didn't have the games,
and they should do that.
Yeah,
that's what Phil should do. Yeah. But all of these little evangelists out here in the field, they need to tell the people the truth, man. Just be honest, like you said. Like, look, there are good reasons to own an Xbox Series X, but this ain't one of them here. But if you can be patient, then you will be rewarded in this area as well. Or right now, this is what the goal of the system is, and just leave it at that.
Yeah. Or just you could tell people you don't have to buy the console now. It doesn't have the games you want. You could buy it later.
Yeah, exactly. Just whatever the truth is, just say that. Like,
yeah. I think the whole problem with the waiting thing is because we just left a generation where guys literally waited the whole generation for something, right? And every E3, it's coming. Every Tokyo Game Show, every Comic-Con, every Gamescom, every developers event, GDC or whatever. And here we are in 2021, another generation, another console. And it's like, we know they're coming, right? But it's kind of still the same thing. It's like, when?
Like, this is something we've been dealing with since at least 2017, right? Because early 2017, it was all about, Scorpio, right? Oh, Microsoft has to get the power narrative first. That they have to deal with that first. That was like every podcast. It was ad nauseum. Every week was about power, 6T flops, 4K assets. And once Phil releases the console, then he can focus on the games, right? So 2017 comes and goes. Xbox One X is out. 2018, nothing. Crackdown, broken ass games, Sea of Thieves, all these weird, right? Whatever. Wait till E3. 2019 passes. Wait till E3. Wait till San Diego Comic-Con. Whatever. And then 2020. Feels excited for games that haven't been released yet. And we're like, what the hell is going on here? And now we're in a new generation, and we're starting out the gate with wait. And it's like, man, a new generation, we bought a new console, and the first thing you got to say is wait. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to overpower that narrative. Well, 120 FPS, old games, or automatic HDR, or Game Pass. Like, they're trying to smokescreen the blatant issue, which is what, and everybody sees it. Like, where is the big blockbuster games? And it's going to be more apparent as Sony, with Returnal, a lot of people are feeling the burn a little bit. Ratchet and Clank, and if Sony's able to release Horizon Zero Dawn this year, people are going to be like, what the hell? You know what I'm saying? What the hell's going on at Xbox? Like, you can only fake the funk for so long before you get sick of it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, exactly.
If you're a gamer, at a certain point, you got to be like, okay, this is enough now. Like, god damn, but it is what it is. But great point.
Man, I'm not sure with that community, because I think that no matter what Xbox does, they will have people that will defend and support them to the end of time. So it's not like, I have noticed it's not true that Xbox has to earn your business as a consumer. They don't have to earn your money. I have seen that people just give them their money and defend them no matter what. It's like they have chosen a team and they're going to stick by that team no matter what the team does. So it's not really the case that they have to earn your money. They have to present something compelling. People are just going to buy it no matter what because they support it.
Yeah, man, I don't know how Microsoft did it. Like, they really, they got the best consumers. Like, that's the consumer you want as a company. That you can do, that you could do no wrong, and you're gonna get every ounce of money from them. That shit is incredible,
it's the loyalist of it. And I always say, luckily, right, it is such a small number of them. The fan base is so small compared to everyone else where it's not taking over gaming. You know what I'm saying? Because with that, if all gamers thought like that, you know, we would be getting everybody, Nintendo, PlayStation, just gamers in general, everybody's going to be getting nothing but 50 and 60 Metacritic games, right? Because there's no incentive for them to do better.
Well, Nintendo's kind of like that too. Nintendo can release a Pokemon that's trash and people gonna eat it up.
That's true. That's true.
But I would say Nintendo has an internal pride, though.
Yeah.
True.
You mean they have pride?
They make sure their own quality is up, regardless.
They don't care about anybody else's standards. They only care about their own.
Yeah,
that's true.
Like you don't hear a day one patch for Nintendo. Like I'll be honest, I don't hear that from them.
They like
from an actual Nintendo first party. I don't hear. Well, Nintendo's releasing this game, but it's coming with a day one patch to fix bugs. I don't hear that from them. Like, Optimus, you ever heard of that from a Nintendo first party?
No, that's a really good point, Rock. That's a really good point.
Yeah,
they do have updates and stuff, but it's usually not no day one patch, like you said.
They don't be like, they don't release stuff. Be like, you have to connect online to download the patch to play. Like,
they say take this little cartridge and here you go
and play it.
This is it. You know.
So I give them and then of course people be like, well, their games is not advanced. I'm like, listen. Whatever they're doing, the games, they're making quality games, right? They're taking advantage of the hardware they made, and you don't hear them have issues as much. You know what I'm saying? Like, again, you don't hear the day one patch. Or you like, I really don't hear Nintendo releasing a broken game that requires a bunch of patches.
Facts. Yeah, they have their own internal quality standards.
Yeah, they have, Nintendo has pride in what they do. Big pride. All right, so I think that covers everything of what we do. Gentlemen, I truly appreciate you rocking out. Hey, everybody, before you leave, hit the like button. All right, but anyway, hey, so Optimus, where can we find you?
Well, y'all can find me on Twitter doing my thing there. Also, the channel has been growing steadily. I appreciate the support, y'all, on that. We got some good videos coming up. We got some good interviews coming up. I think y'all going to be really blessed by it. We covering stuff that other people probably wouldn't even thought of. And y'all going to have some good knowledge coming out of these videos in the next few weeks.
Okay. J-Dub, did they ban your YouTube or is it just your Twitter?
Not yet, man. Not yet. It's just Twitter, just let me start showing my YouTube a little bit more love and they'll be trying to get that out of there too.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? But you guys can find me at YouTube at JDub for you. And you can also find me on Twitter now at The Real JDub.
2. The Real JDub 2.
Right. Yeah, The Real JDub 2.
That's true, right? Everybody on my channel, if you go to the, you'll see home, videos, playlist, community. If you click on channels, I updated it, cleaned it up. So now you'll see I have featured Optimus Code's channel. I got What Up PlayStation with Jay Barry and Persona. I got Craig the Tech Guy there. I got J-Dub there. I got Jay Barry's individual channel. And of course I got the Botfather. Always got to pay homage to the Botfather. Next Gen 720, right? So now if you guys are wondering where you can find these guys, just click on the channel and boom. You just click on their avatar and boom. It'll take you straight to their channel. Great content.
Love, right?
Support them. Subscribe to their channel. You know what I'm saying? And that's it, especially J-Dub, because he might be here today, but gone tomorrow.
Get it while you can.
So get it while you can. Tomorrow's not promised today. So, and whatever he has to offer, enjoy it now, because you never know. You might wake up one day, you know what I'm saying, and all his content gone, and he has to start from scratch. You know what I'm saying? But
anyway, while it's hot.
I want to appreciate everybody that on my new channel. My thing got banned last night, and I'm already like almost at 2,000 followers back. So I'm gonna get there. The first day was good. Like I said, real recognized.
Like, do you know? Well, I don't want like specific details, but like, do you even get a chance to like refute what they said? Do you get a chance
I put in a appeal or whatever, and so it takes like a week to find out. So we'll see.
But they said that you'll get your channel back when Xbox get their 90 rated Metacritic.
Yeah, when they get some, when they get some AAA first party games, then they'll get my channel back.
Yeah, so you ain't seen that for a long time.
I had to start from scratch because I know that wouldn't happen in no time soon. I gave up hope on that, brother.
Oh man, you'd be like, oh man. At least they didn't add the 90 Metacritic, because then that right there, like for that you might as well just say no.
Exactly.
Okay, anyway. Hey, I hope everybody enjoyed the show. Thanks for rocking out. Hit the like button when you're out. But this is your boy Porter Rock 77, of course, with the crew. Stand by for another Hot Take Thursday. Might be about PlayStation State of Play. We'll see what's up. Or it might be something a bit more controversial. We'll see what's up. But until then, I'll see you guys next week. Same bad time, same bad channel. Your only friend in these YouTube streets. And I'm out of here. Peace.
Peace.